All right, next up we have Dizzy.
What?
You're up.
Supposed to be talking.
Oh, my bad.
Hey everybody, welcome to Lions Pride Tavern podcast number 96. Tonight we find out how he did in this weekend's continuing raid of Antorus the Burning Throne. And what are the odds that we did it exactly like we did it the last time, but Argusnomical.
Yeah.
But before all that, let's start off with introductions. I'm your host, Stafford. I play a Dwarven Beastmaster Hunter in the awesome game World of Warcraft. Next up is Dizzy.
Hi, I'm Dizzy, your Worgen Affliction Warlock.
And Lorelei.
Hi, it's Lorelei, your Night Elf Arms Warrior. Oh, I forgot how to say it.
And Epistle.
Hello, I'm Epistle, and I play a Janai Protection Pally.
He's got that down. I think he's got that down for 96 episodes.
I have had some practice. I keep trying to keep it fresh, but today I'd keep it fresh by doing it exactly the way I always do it.
Ant is unfortunately not with us tonight. I believe he's working, but yeah, the other thing we do when we're not playing WoW.
Yeah.
So how's everybody this week?
Very good.
Very good. Tired.
I think the heat's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling pretty good. The temperature is sort of moderate, and I'm on summer vacation, which for me means building a shed. So yeah, enjoying it.
A man's work is never done.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's better than my excuse. I was just riding a
what's your
motorcycle over
excuse?
a mountain.
Oh well, that's a good excuse. That's part of the work too. So did anybody do anything exciting this week?
Movie was not exciting this week, so no, I did not. Saw Hotel Transylvania 3.
Oh, and it wasn't good?
Yeah, it was like, okay. I think I dozed off at part of it.
Did they use the same jokes? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, the blah, 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 that showed up.
Yeah, you can only do that kind of stuff so many times.
Yep.
I did see, some people have seen it because it's been out for forever, but I did see Lady Bird a few days ago, and oh man, that's a good movie.
What's it called?
I don't think that's showing
Lady Bird.
here.
No,
Yeah.
it was in the theater a while back, but now you can rent it on, iTunes or
okay.
whatever. So it's out. Actually, it's on Netflix now for us, so probably for you guys too.
Yeah,
The
nice.
US and Canada is slightly different for Netflix. You usually get a larger variety, but it's a coming-of-age story for a teenage girl, and we happen to have one of those in our house, and it's actually just really good storytelling. So we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, I did a date night with my wife
Yeah.
on Thursday, and we went and seen Ant-Man and Fire Superfly Girl, whatever it is.
Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah,
Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was actually pretty good.
It was good.
Although, Lorelei, I do need to tell you that you and I need to talk about this whole Avengers thing, because what you told me was to wait and make sure, and then you see, and I didn't see shit.
You didn't wait?
So
I
you
did
just
wait. No.
observe it.
Don't get me wrong. I did wait, but I didn't see what I was expecting to see. So
Well, yeah,
I thought it was going
because
to
they
take
were
another. I
erased
thought
by
it was going to take
Thanos.
another route. Right.
Oh, okay. Because I was
Spoilers,
like, what?
No, I thought there would be more explanation on what happens after the last Avengers.
No. That's going to happen. That's going to happen in Infinity Wars 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I thought they would, because it was one of those questions that you had. It's like, okay, Infinity Wars already came out. and everybody's disappeared. But how can they make this movie?
Because it takes place at the same
It
time.
happens at the same time.
Same time, yeah. So that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was kind of a little shocker at the end because I was like, I could have swore she said it was supposed to be in the first 6 minutes of the movie, and I didn't see anything.
No. The end.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. And then we went and seen Jurassic World 2, Part 16, whatever it is.
Jurassic World 2,
Yeah.
Boogaloo.
That was sad. Oh my god.
I didn't see the first
when
Jurassic
the boat
World.
left.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, oh my god, they didn't do that, did they?
but they didn't. They did.
No,
and
they
didn't,
did it to the last dinosaur who was running to the dock, and it's like, oh, it's crying, and it's the boat, and everybody's going like, oh my god, turn the boat around, and you can't, and you're just like, oh god, people are horrible.
Yeah,
I have no idea
I
what
haven't
you guys are
seen
talking
this.
about.
Yeah,
Go
neither.
see it. It was that one was actually really good. I liked that one.
I see.
I can't talk my kids into watching it.
I thought it was just more of the same.
Oh yeah, I mean, how
mean,
much can you do with a dinosaur?
Well, come on. I mean, how many times are they going to get taken advantage of? I mean,
Every
how stupid
time?
can people be, right?
Okay. Every time.
Every time. So, other than that, I mean, that was the overall plot. But I thought it was interesting. It definitely wasn't like Noah's Ark because they only took one of every dinosaur.
You're right. So they can still do it again.
Yeah. So, well, enough of spoilers.
I was going to say we can start a new podcast about movie reviews.
Is it a spoiler if I have no plans of ever seeing it?
Well, I would say this, Dizzy. I would say now that I've seen it, I even told my wife this when we left the theater. That was one I could have waited for it to come out on DVD. I would have definitely watched it, but I wouldn't have paid movie theater prices for it. It was even in the smallest movie theater in the whole complex. That's, people just weren't, going to it. Of course, there's this one little boy who's probably, 5 or 6. He was just so excited. He had his little backpack on and his dinosaur helmet thing. So, but they did
chanting disembowel. What was he doing there?
They did the whole realistic dinosaur thing. They sat down front.
Oh, wow.
Where the screen is like 50 times larger than everybody.
Or tanking boss fights.
Yeah, right. You got to see the dinosaur's toes. So
now I know why I like to sit up front at movie theaters.
See, and I don't, because I have to look left and right because I like to see the whole thing. I don't want to sit too far back where it looks like I'm watching it on my TV at home, but I want to be able to sit up close enough where I just got to glance with my eyeballs left or right to see what's going on the sides.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, go ahead.
Well, with our huge movie theaters, right? We'll have like 4 or 5 rows in the front, and then you have a walking aisle, and then you have like the front row. I like that next row back from that, so I like to be just where it's at either end of my peripheral vision, and then fills up my whole view.
Right.
See, and I'll say that I like the front row of the back section, so I can put my feet on the rail because my knees don't deal with movie theater seats.
Yeah. Well, we don't have them here, Dizzy. Dizzy lives in the same town.
Yeah, we do. I put my feet
I'm
up on those
talking
rails
about
every time.
We went up to when we went up to visit Epistle. We stopped at I think it was an IMAX, and they have like reclining chairs. It's like sitting in a lazy boy at your house.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, you didn't try the ones in our neighborhood that will serve you a frosted beverage, adult beverage, did you?
No. But
we've got some
like
here.
That.
Yeah, ours, the ones that we go to do that. You can get the beer and wine and everything like that.
So
Nice.
civilized.
Yes. Well, I was at one when I was down at Nuclear Power School in Florida. It was across the base, across the gate from the base. It was called Century 21, and they had like waitresses go up and down the aisles. If you wanted pizza, they'd order Domino's because it was always there 30 minutes or less. I mean, this was years ago. And back then you could smoke in the theaters too. So,
Oh wow.
but yeah, that was pretty cool.
You're showing your age, Stafford.
I know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, for across from a Navy base, those were the important things, you know, beer, pizza, and smoking. So, you know, those are the food groups.
Yep.
So, let's see. Yeah, because I'm one of those people that I want to sit in the theater, like I said, where I can see the sides. Because I pick out little things. Like, have you guys ever watched the movie Master and Commander? It's about the old 18th century sailing ship. Okay,
Yep.
right. So there's a scene in there where they build the little raft and they tow it behind their ship to get and it's right at dark. So there's a little glitch, goof, whatever you want to call it. They say hard a larboard, which is starboard, so they take off to the right, which is starboard. And when they look back, the ship's on the wrong side. The attacking ship is on the wrong side.
Oh.
Yeah. If they would have turned right, they had everything correct until they showed the ship firing at the little raft they built. It was on the wrong side. It should have been on the other side. But that's just little things like that I catch when I'm watching. But if I'm sitting way down up front, I never catch that stuff.
See, I'd never catch that because I don't have that kind of skill set. But hey, if there were a grammar mistake or a typo in the movie, I see it.
See, and that's why I can't watch war movies, because I know how things actually are.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's like my wife. We'll watch like CSI. I think it was a perfect example. We were watching CSI, and they were talking. A couple of younger people were talking in Spanish, and the subtitles came up, you know, of what they were saying, and my wife goes, "That's not what they said."
Oh, nice.
You know, it's like, well, I have to read the subtitles, so I don't know. But she never did tell me what they said, though. You know. But you often wonder if those, you know, like those kind of people are actually saying, like if they're speaking Italian, if they're actually saying what they're in the script. I would think they would be, but you never know.
I think that all depends on the budget.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah. How much can you pay the translator?
We don't need to go into a movie entourage anyway, so we need to find out how we did in this weekend's raid. Because I wasn't there at all. I was sick. Friday and Saturday. Yeah, so Dizzy, you want to cap us off?
Well, on Friday, we were missing our sacrificial hunter, and it showed. And we ran in and beat ahead.
Well, first you got to start, we didn't do alt. Because I didn't do that in the beginning. We didn't do our alternate raid.
Okay, fine. We went in without our sacrificial hunter, with our mains, to get one last shot at Argus for ahead of the curve for the few of us that did not get it the first time. And on Friday, we beat our head against a wall basically all night. And there was a lot of jibber jabber and mistakes were made. And it was just rough.
Yeah, rough's a nice word.
I think we did improve. I'm trying to be kind here, but I do think that there are a bunch of people who needed to learn mechanics, and they were, to their credit, slowly getting better at them.
And we had a 3% pull, I believe, and then all the rest, I mean, there was a lot of called wipes where just really early on where it's like, it's just not worth trying to go 10 minutes when there's too many people down.
Did you notice the one time that I did a little passive-aggressive wipe on us?
Yes, I noticed. I chose not to say anything because I agreed with it.
Yeah, I think we weren't clear on...
passive-aggressive wipe?
Yeah, it was a very Canadian wipe. No, it was one of those things where it was, like I thought, 4 people are down. This is going to work. 2 of them are healers, 2 of them are, I think if I remembered, higher DPS. So I think we were in trouble. And I don't think it was the higher DPS that were at fault. I think somebody had dropped something on them. But anyway, I decided, this is a wipe, but it's going to take us forever to figure that out. Unless I taunt the boss and he cleaves everybody.
All of a sudden everybody just blew up and we're like, what?
Yeah. That was a good wipe. I like that.
You're welcome.
That was epic.
You did that one deliberately, huh?
That's right.
Did you apologize after?
No.
No, he didn't say anything.
And nobody said, hey, the tank screwed up on that one, I think, because people who knew were like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, basically. So then Saturday rolled around, and we find out that, once again, we were going to be missing our sacrificial hunter.
Yeah.
But JobUI showed up. So he came along for one night of raiding and helped us out. And we went, got up to Argus, face pulled to, reset him as per normal. Got ready, and one pull, one to shot. It was good.
Yay! And a lot of people
Knocked
got
it.
their.
Yep.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of people
Knocked
got
But
it out of the
everybody
park.
that didn't have it was there. Well, pretty much. One person showed up
Yeah.
as we finished.
I was about to
That was
just
too
as
bad.
we finished doing it.
We're sitting on the loot box taking the picture, and Arkenshadow logs in. So I feel kind of bad.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he had it though?
Oh yeah, he had it, but
Yeah,
he did? Okay.
yeah, I felt bad when I saw him log in, and then he said, "Oh, I've already got that." Then I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
so,
Yeah,
so
because
then
that
we
was the
took.
point. Was that there were people that didn't have AOTC, like Lorelei.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, I was so happy.
Oh, I didn't realize you didn't have it. You weren't there that night.
No, Theo, myself,
Ah.
Polat, we were not there. We had a D&D game night that night, and because we were
Ah,
all
right.
like, no, they're not going to get it done tonight. No. We were having too many struggles on Friday, and it was like, oh, darn it, they got it down.
Yep. Funny, that was a Saturday too, not the Friday, but the Saturday.
Oh, you're right.
To me,
it was a Saturday.
To me, that's unusual. Like it happened again this time. It's just my impression had always been that the Friday is the stronger group and the Saturday is not. But that's twice in a row. That rule is not accurate.
Well, and this is where I was going with my introduction, was that we did this exact same thing. Now, granted, this time, the first time we got AOTC, we didn't do it. But this is the very last weekend, that supposedly the last weekend that we can do this.
No, it's confirmed.
It is confirmed. Okay.
Pre-patch is on Tuesday.
Okay, good.
Or
Does
today,
everyone know?
depending on whenever.
Will our
this comes out.
listeners know about that?
Well, I was going to bring it up because there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about. But my thing was that this is exactly what we did the last time on the last patch, or not last patch, but the last X pack. We got AOTC the very last evening, the very last chance you could get, and here we did it exactly the same way again.
Oh, I didn't know
right?
that.
Yeah.
No, I'd forgotten.
Yep. It was, actually, Durag brought it up, and he's like, we did this the last time. The last day of the last time you could rate it.
We're all about the last minute. Well,
Yeah, right?
but we had, that's for everybody. Some of us had done it earlier, like a month or so ago.
Right, yeah, but for the majority, of working on it to get it down for 6 weeks, and on the last day that you could possibly get it down, so, Dizzy, I'm sorry, it does count. Horseshoes, hand grenades, and raids.
Tactical nukes.
Close is good enough.
Almost does not count in raids. We got it down. We didn't almost get it done. We got it down.
That's true. So, yeah, and I think that was great that JobUI was there for that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what I had, to be honest with you, because I didn't go to the doctor, but my sides were hurting. I mean, physically to the touch, and I only felt nauseous if I didn't lay down. So it was weird.
So
I don't know.
you should stay away from roadside sushi.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And figure out how to set up your rig so that you can actually play Warcraft lying down. That would be sweet.
I tried that once. My wife and I were in a hotel room, and we were trying to play on the bed, and wow.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah. No, so we thought we'd log in, and it doesn't work. I use a gaming pad and a mouse, and I brought my laptop, and I was trying to play with the little touch screen mouse and the keys, and I was like, there's no way. I can't do this.
I heard of people who set up a treadmill and played WoW like to control their movement. So if they were walking, they would walk in game, and if they were running in game, they would run, which actually sounds pretty exhausting if you're level up.
Wow, yeah. So what do you do if you're flying?
Wave your arms. This is before. This is pre-flight
dance.
days. Did it? No, that's the cockroach thing.
Too funny. So, all right. Well, yeah, congratulations, guys. That was awesome. I heard my wife started hooting and hollering and screaming and woke me up.
Well, you had to be
But,
awake for that moment.
Right.
Exactly.
And I knew exactly what it was, too. I even yelled up to her, "Did you just get Argus down on heroic?" So
anyway, to finish the raid roundup,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
After that, we took about 10 minutes to switch over to alts, and we went back to do normal and had great fun.
Yep.
How far did you
Definitely.
get on normal?
We got through the dogs for the mount chance, and then we jumped ahead to do Agrimar and Argus.
Oh, and you got both of them down?
We got Agrimar down.
Yep.
Okay.
I thought we got Argus down too.
Did we?
Close, but not quite.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was,
I
it
thought
was
we
an
did.
almost.
Yeah, I think I probably should have switched to Epistle the first. I was playing on my Dwarven Pally, my alternate one that I created way back when, and I think that was part of what set us back.
What, were you dying a lot?
No. I think it was people playing different tunes and suddenly forgetting what mechanics were.
Well, you got to be fair, though. You got to be fair. If you're a healer, because
I agree.
because I play DPS with our heavy hitters, but with our mains, but with our alts, I play a healer, and I am very, very surprised, and Ant backed me up on this in the last podcast, on how different it really is playing those two. Even if you're playing another class, I can't imagine how it's different from range to melee. And I know some of these guys switched, like Tap went from healing to, I think she's ranged, isn't she?
Melee.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, wow, what a totally different, you got to learn where to step. It's a whole nother dance.
Like not standing in front of the boss with a tank.
That's what he kept saying. He said, "Tap, you're standing in front of me."
Yeah,
Well,
at one
that's where
point I'm
she
looking
can
over
see.
going, oh, look, I've just taunted the boss. There's Tap. Look at the spot on the floor. That's where Tap used to be.
I think it's funny, though. I really do, because a lot of the healers that go to DPS and the DPS that went to healers are all saying the same thing. It's like, wow, that is really different, because I do not like the not being able to move. I really hate that. So, but it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, and the alt was, it's normal, so it wasn't high pressure or anything like that. We know that raid. So
Yeah, it was just a nice way to end the night, just doing something and laughing and talking as much as you want, and just having fun with it.
Yeah, it was good. I'm thinking we could have been more successful at Switch because I was just realizing how undergeared Epistle II was. So I was having to use every single cooldown. I didn't have an extra self-heal. So I was just feeling how limited it was and how that would have been putting a lot of pressure on the healers, which, could have been used, I think, better to keep other people in the raid up. But it was one of those situations where there was really no time. By the time I got in there, we would have lost a chance at a pull. And then there was a time my computer went down again. This is like the third time, an hour and a half into raid. It's like Warcraft boots me out. So it's almost like a pattern. It's very bizarre. It's like, so for us, that's like just 15 minutes before the end of our raid. So that's really inconvenient.
Now, while that is not fun, it was very fun in the raid because it's like, oh, wait, he's gone. And then we just kept rolling with it. And there was a lot of banter about it. We were having great fun at your expense.
Well, and this is the weird thing.
Until we finally wiped.
It's not just the game that goes out too. It's also the I keep wanting to say vent, old habits.
Discord.
Discord.
Oh,
yeah.
Discord, yeah.
Discord kicks out at exactly the same time too. So that's really kind of funky. So I didn't get to hear all that. I just was busy going, get back in fast.
That almost sounds networky, like internet connection, or did you lose it throughout the house?
Hard to tell. My daughter was playing WoW next to me, and she stayed in, but she was also not moving anywhere, so she didn't get kicked out. And I didn't hear complaints from elsewhere in the house where people were watching streaming TV and also playing games online. So it's bizarre.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have a movie server at my house, and our network card went down, and I ordered a new network card. I got the high-end one. It was $14 from Vietnam.
Ooh,
And,
$14.
Ooh.
Went all out.
Big
didn't it?
spender.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the movie server. I have it on my. I have 3 hard drives with all my movies on it for redundant backups, and
That's called
one
a
of them's
raid.
right, but they're on separate computers. So, but I do that. I do that myself. I actually save the movie to each one of them. But anyway.
Well, you do know that you are friends with people that have computer hardware experience and
True.
education that can
and my
set up a raid
my
for
son, who is going into this for a living and he's going to school for it, I handed him the network card and said, "Here, son, show me what you can do." Guess where it's at? Still sitting on the counter from when I got it on Friday. When they go, "Did you order something?" I'm like, "I don't think I did," because it been so long ago since I ordered it. And they
See,
opened it up.
my strategy is to say, "Here, son, here, take this and fix this up. And once you're done, you can play computer again."
Yeah, right. Well, I guarantee you, 10 seconds after he opened that package, if it was his, it would have been installed.
Of course.
But I don't have anything to hang over him. Like not like my daughter. I can tell her to do things and say, "Look, I will finish your bathroom as soon as you finish your chores," because I'm building her a new bathroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, well, no, I shouldn't say a new one. I'm just trying to finish it up. So it's just one of those things when you do it all day long and you come home, you just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't like to come home and write, or for that matter, sometimes even read.
Yeah, that's why plumbers all their sinks drip.
You know what they say, never buy a car from a mechanic?
Yes. Uh-huh. So let's talk about BFA. Anybody got something they want to bring into this? BFA is, now this is just the pre-stuff. Is that what's happening Tuesday?
Class changes, I think profession changes. I'm not 100% on that one.
Okay.
Oh, this is patch
systems.
patch 8.0, right?
Yeah, so it should be most of the system changes if they follow
Yeah.
protocol.
And that's one of the things I was going to talk about in my news is one of the system changes that is coming out that I thought would affect us, at least for now, because it's taking effect right away, which is loot. But
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
affect
yeah,
us.
the loot's
yeah,
changing.
loot changes. Yeah, I'll talk about that in my news, though.
That does not affect us.
Well, to a point.
But
Because-
we've been under personal loot the entire expansion because that's how we did it.
Okay, then we don't do the, what is it called, the group loot?
We
or
don't have a master looter.
master loot. Yeah,
But that's just
but it's going away.
See, I'm looking
Yeah.
looking at MMO champions. I don't understand this one. Maybe somebody else. It
So-
says all mailboxes, herbs, and mining nodes now offer the master loot option.
Oh, that just
What?
means that you
In
can,
a group?
instead of like how I have like a mailbox add-on so I can just loot everything out of the mailbox without having to click on everything. They're just putting that into the stuff.
Oh, they're Blizzard's doing it instead of having the add-on to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, so they're trying to get us away from add-ons.
Yeah, well-
Interesting.
It makes sense because if there's an add-on everybody is using, Blizzard would be a fool not to incorporate it in with the game. That's why they threw in, voice chat, because
And-
everybody was doing voice chat.
And historically, they've been picking up and pulling things in that we've been using add-ons for.
Yeah.
Yeah, even different. I remember when they added different gear sets that you could switch between. That was straight from add-on ideas.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I get it, and it's probably just because so many people, wrote into Blizzard or listened to our podcast.
And the thing about Master Looter is that
Definitely podcast.
like Mythic raids use Master Looter to make sure that
Correct.
the whole raid as a team goes forward the best way possible, so they give the loot to the people who need it the most to help the raid the most.
Right.
The problem is that people that were in trash guilds would get screwed over by Master Looter when the guild leads would be like, no, we're giving this to our friends, and then you can
Yes.
suck on a lemon for the next 6 weeks.
And that was years ago. That's what happened when they came out with the the points you could earn for being in the
Oh,
raid.
that's still around.
Oh, is it? No, I hate
yeah,
that.
there's still some guilds. That
Oh
still use
yeah,
it.
they use that add-on. I was in a guild that did that for a while, and it was different, and I never really saw the value added to it. I mean, they were trying to figure out how we work better collectively, but it was kind of seemed
Well,
like a lot of work.
It gave more loot to the people who've been there the longest,
And the
but it
people that
makes
showed
sense.
up every week.
It awards
Yeah.
the people that show up every week too. But if you're starting off on the bottom, the whole idea is you want to get better as quick as possible.
And the guild
Right.
I was in, I didn't get it to raid much because I wasn't producing much DPS because I didn't have much gear. I got everything I could outside of raid, and so it was kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
Oh, disregard what I said. You know what? I scrolled down on this community manager. These are all silly things. So that is not
Okay.
happening. Because I'm like, what do you mean the auctioneers are all going to be standing outside the auction house? That doesn't make any sense. And then I went back up and it's all silliness.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not happening.
Well, one of the things I noticed, and it's already gone, is the Mage Tower and the Neither Disruptor. All that's done.
It's gone?
It should
already?
be there through Monday night.
I went because I was going to go get, and I think I'm late on it, but there was nothing up. And even
on
Are
Friday after the raid, I decided, I just hadn't got that on Epistle. I better go do it. And so I went and one-shotted the
tower?
the boss there. But that was Friday night. I haven't checked
Milana
since.
was in there this afternoon. He told me. So
I
I
flew
don't know
over there
what you're-
before we started the podcast, which we do on Sunday, but I didn't see him up.
yeah, I was talking to some people in Discord, and I guess Milana was doing it today.
Well, maybe I didn't look heavy enough then.
Okay, here's some real stuff. We will be able to experience the burning of Teldrassil storyline. And let's see. It says after the event, I guess, you will get a faction mount. So Horde will get a Plague Bat, and we will get... Don't we have that already? The Smoldering Reigns of the Teldrassil Hippogriff?
I mean,
think
I've got a
so.
hippogriff.
A smoldering
now, but not
hippogriff?
about that one.
Did
Not
I
ringing a
see
bell.
that? I must have, you know what? I must have hopped in the beta because I
Oh.
remember doing something and getting a mount.
Yep. All right, and that's all right. I just found where it's at, so I'll have to adjust my news when I get down to it. Because yes, it is up. So I flew down there thinking the Neither Disruptor is up, and it's not. The Neither Disruptor is destroyed because that had the coins in it, the tokens, but I missed it.
Kind
because I
of
was sick.
not worth doing that anymore, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. I would think there's going to be some sort of bonus rolls that you can do.
I think you can still bonus roll, but I mean, how broken is the raid going to be? Or how much are they going to nerf it?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about. The other thing that may affect people between now and the expansion that I was looking at, I think it was Hazelnut. I was going over on people's recommendations to see what she suggested doing. When people go to do old raids, there's going to be a problem with the flattening in terms of the levels, so that the dungeons that were easy to do, or raids that were easy to do, are going to be harder, at least a certain range of them. And that's going to happen until we get up to 120. So it's going to be harder to do farming raids for gear and the like. So people might want to hold off on that after 8.
I think that is more the closer in level you are to it, the harder it's going to be. So if we went back to do Warlords, it would be hard, but like actual really old stuff, it would still be fine.
Yeah, may well be. What I was hearing seemed to suggest, though, that there was some reason to not assume that was going to be the case. Because, yes, that makes logical sense, but I think Hazelnutty was saying that there was some question about how the flattening might affect some other mechanics and other raids. Because apparently things can get buggy with some individual mechanics, so you might find a bug, or you're more likely to run into some gotchas over the next few weeks.
That's entirely possible. I'll find out.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in old raids.
Yeah, well, they can be fun. You can't deny that.
That's where I get half of my stock
Yeah,
for the auction
that's
house.
where good transmog comes from. Ooh, it says tank threat will be massively reduced.
No, don't talk about that. Doesn't exist. It's not
Oh,
true.
that's bad.
You're
Why
going to
would they
start
do
relying on your
that?
hunters to misdirect.
Yep.
Hunter pets are getting a big change. Some
Yeah.
families will change specs. They're going to have set specializations. They're streamlining their usability.
Well, they almost have to, because if they leave everything going into the next and the next and the next, it would get kind of boring, I think. At least, I would think.
Yeah.
Good to keep mixing it up,
so-
I think.
Yeah. But Wowhead's got a really good article on your playing your class in and the class specializations for Battle of Azeroth. So,
Now,
if you want to do some reading.
I'm not so worried about the tank threat thing, because I know they say that's going to be the case, but I remember that happening a year or 2 or 3 ago. I mean, it had happened at one point, and all the tanks were, up in arms about how their arms weren't going to be up. But I think when we actually started to play, though, we found out that functionally it didn't make that big a difference. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers and hoping that's the case. But if it's back to the days of threat meters, well, I've got my rotation down, so I don't think it's going to affect me. Knock on wood.
I think it's more going to affect the DPS, not just like trying to unload everything within like a half second of the pull.
Yeah, I think.
Which would be too
people are
bad,
gonna have to be
'cause-
careful.
Yeah, I think it's going
as
to
long
affect
as
DPS
you're
more than
cautious.
tanks, actually.
Yeah.
But from the tank's perspective, it's totally all about the tanks, right? So if anybody ever pulls off you, the tanks are going to think, I'm a bad tank.
But you know
DPS
what I mean,
are going to
though.
think about that too.
It's just gonna take a couple of pulls, and then the raid group will figure it out, and we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons might be crazy, but we'll be fine.
And LFR will become the nightmare that it once was again.
Once was, still is.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think
I
I
mean-
did any LFR this time. I really kept my outs out of it.
I mean, the nightmare in terms of a threat pulling. That's just that piece. The drama that is LFR, that will never change.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So, all right. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about when BFA actually comes out, and there'll be some grunts and groans when that happens, I'm sure. But is there any one thing you guys are specifically looking forward to, the fact that they're changing, or a good change, bad change for BFA? Dizzy?
Professions. I love
Yeah.
the profession changes.
I have to agree with you there.
But I love it from the gold making perspective because I have all of the old stuff.
You're right.
But is that really going to be viable? Because you won't have to level up all that old stuff first.
Yes, it will be viable because people will not level up the old stuff. They'll just stay on the new stuff. And then I will make hundreds of thousands of gold selling transmog from the expansions where people don't go level it up.
Yep.
Hmm.
Transmogs will be
Yeah.
very popular.
I've been wondering if it's worth it, keeping some of the old mats, because people,
I was gonna
that
talk
don't
about that in my gold-
want to
in my
have to
gold
do
minute.
that aren't going to do it at all. But OCD people like me, it's like, oh my god, I have to go find this because it's like level 5 and I don't have it.
The gold making potential is amazing.
Hence why Lorelei has 1,600 pets.
Oh, I
1,200?
wish. Today I got, what I do? Oh, last night after the raid, I went and I got into a Margos group over there because he's the last guy I don't have, and I did it for like 2 hours, and I finally got best friend, and I bought a pet, and today I finished up. Started out individually, and it was just like, this is going to take forever to get a mount and another pet, but I got him. I found a group that had formed, so I got that done. So I have 827 pets.
A lot more than mine.
I
Yeah.
want 1,000, but that's just not going to happen.
All right, so Epistle. Or no, let's go to Lorelei. Lorelei, favorite thing that'll happen in BFA?
Oh, new mounts. I want to run around as quick as I can and get that pretty new bunch of horses. My favorite place in the whole world is going to be that, I can't remember the name of it now, that place where you do the quest when you do like the little horse show. Oh God, I'm so about that. I'm crazy for that. That's going to be my favorite place. I want a garrison there or a room in the inn. That's all mine.
Okay, all right, yeah. Epistle?
I'm still I have mixed feelings about the changes to the global cooldown. So, for those of you who aren't aware of that or sort of onto what that's about, there's a cooldown between each spell or action that you can take. You can see it sort of like a little loop around on your key as it's sort of timed out a little bit, a bit of a delay. Some abilities are off the global cooldown, and they're saying that everything's moving back to being on the global cooldown, which could be a problem for pallies depending on which ones they do and how they do it. Usually the, how should I put this diplomatically, the oh crap buttons, usually those are off the global cooldown because, if you have to wait for half a second and you see that there's a mechanic that's about to kill you dead, you want some ability to use that ability immediately. So I'm really interested in knowing not just what might happen, but what is going to happen for pallies in the global cooldown. Because some things might be fantastic and easy, others might be a walking nightmare. So I'm just kind of holding my breath to find out that.
Yeah, I'm in denial about that whole GCD change. I try to hide from that one.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't even know sort of technically what's going on, it's a little like everything's going to go sluggish for you. It's going to seem like everything's just slower and less responsive than maybe before, or some things that you used to be able to do faster you can't anymore, and you won't know why. Some of that might be the global cooldown issues.
Yep. Well, I hope they don't screw it up too much. We'll see.
Yep.
That's about the best I can say is we'll just see. We had these conversations before the last batch, before Legion came out, and we all said the same thing. So, did we like Legion with the changes it made? By the time we finished and got through it all, I think everybody's more comfortable with it now compared to the way it used to be.
Yeah, well, I had to switch specs to do that.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer Fury over Arms, but that just wasn't viable to play anymore.
And if you're tanking on one particular class, you don't have options. You got to go with what you got.
True.
Either that or change tunes.
That's why I switched tunes before we started the podcast, because I did not want to introduce myself as Katina's the female mage.
Oh, you gonna go with your mage?
No. That used to be my main. That was my first vanilla character I rolled. When I logged into the game for the very first time, I rolled a female mage because I love mages. I play them in D&D all the time, and I just like the looks of the female character better than the male characters. If I was gonna play a male character, I'd have played it as a warrior and something like that. But I wanted to play a mage. And that was my very first one, so I've it's always been one of my mains. But I started off fire, and I loved fire, and then they went, oh no, arcane's better, so I learned arcane. I hated frost. I just thought that was the worst for a mage ever, was frost. And then they made frost the big one, and I just stuck with arcane, and it's never become viable again. So
now Stafford. There are male mages too.
Yeah, I get that.
But after all the shaming from last week, there's one less. I actually changed Andromeda. Name was a little bit of a misnomer anyways. So I've actually changed Andromeda over to female. And she's a redhead.
Oh, there you go.
I only have one male tune, and right now he's stuck at the bank.
Ooh, your errand boy.
Yeah. Well, it used to be my shaman, and I said I need to play that shaman. So and then I said I got to stick somebody at the bank.
See, I made a bank tune and I named it Bankenstein, and I don't have the fortitude to go out in the real world and do anything with it, because it's like, oh, okay, Bankenstein, why don't you take the star and it's
See,
just
all my bank tunes I started playing, and I'm like, doggone it, that's not what you're supposed to do with them.
I have one called Bank Tune, or no, I said Bank on it. And over time, he's gradually taken over the guild that he was part of, which is a banking guild. And he was always level 1. I was never going to change it. But then one day I got tempted. I was trying to get all the Brewfest badges. And so I just went out to the area. I discovered Brewfest and went to level 2. So crushing. Because he had been level 1 to that point, and that was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
All right, so I got one quick question for the two teachers, because I've been dying to ask this question. So, have you ever been in your classroom and overheard some of your youngsters talking about World of Warcraft, and you want to jump into that conversation, but you stay away because you're the teacher?
I have not heard them talk about it, and I don't know that they know about it. I know some of the teachers, we know each other who play any kind of MMO game. We know who we are.
Right.
But yeah, no.
But your kids don't.
No.
Yeah, you tend to want to keep things separate as a teacher from your
okay.
Recreational life. I've had several, because I've worked with older students, and so I've definitely heard those sort of conversations, and even I've let slip on purpose, that I do understand and play an MMO world,
Right.
so I don't have any problems with it. But I'm not giving them any specifics beyond that.
Okay. Because, see, I had one, I was a scout leader. They were talking about the Guild Wars and how better Guild Wars was than Warcraft. And, we're sitting around a campfire, and they're talking about this. And
I really hope you laid the smackdown on that.
I did.
Good.
We got in a downright heated argument about it. Because I was just like, Guild Wars is all about tweaking. You guys are just out there, come on.
Well, the only benefit for Guild Wars for a teenager is that it was free.
Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
have to pay for it. And that was their biggest comeback. Well, I don't have to pay $15 a month for mine.
Yeah, but I get the quality of paying $15 a month.
Right? So, no, I was just curious, because I remembered that from a while back. I was just like, and then of course I had another incident when I was at the hotel and I had to do some training, and I had my buddy come up, and I always start off all my training with a little joke, and I had him coming up saying, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, and we got up front, I said, relax, man, you're too tense. And that's a joke right out of Warcraft, and somebody in the back yells, for the Horde!
Aw.
I was like,
Nice.
that was cool. And nobody
Actually,
else got it. Nobody else knew.
One of the guys who's tech support for our building hasn't played for a couple of years, but is thinking about coming back. But his issue was he couldn't find a mature group of players. So I said, well, I know somebody
our
wanted to
group's
join.
not
But
very mature.
okay,
We're
I was gonna
older
say,
than ever.
and you're bringing them to us?
well seasoned.
Okay, old.
I have a similar but not quite same experience as the teacher relationship going on at work.
Yeah.
Mommy keeps calling me by Dizzy while at work.
I knew that was coming.
There is part of me that wouldn't mind, somebody coming up to me and calling me by my one of my Warcraft names sometimes.
Now,
Not
do
at
I
work.
recall, because I get the other side of the conversation on this end. Aren't you the one that keeps calling her mommy?
It's
That
possible. I
That
don't
could be more
know.
disturbing.
Well, that's what she keeps saying. She's like,
Yeah.
God, Dizzy keeps coming up and calling me mommy in front of people.
Oh.
But I like a nickname we came up with her last night, though. I hope it sticks. We're we're talking about Dark has an alternate Daenerys, right?
Right.
And so Mother of Dragons or something. I said, so yes, we should call Mummy Mother of Raids.
Mother of Raids, huh? She didn't tell me
Yeah.
about that one. She's over there smiling now.
Well, she does handle all the invites and the setup. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
she
yeah.
does. She does a great
us,
job.
feeds us regularly, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She feeds Paulette's tapeworm the best.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that she can throw one down and then it will be there for what, 5 minutes or whatever it is before it disappears. And as soon as it disappears, Paulette goes, "Did we have food down?"
I know. It's like, oh my God.
Come on.
We should be writing some of these, raid character idiosyncrasies down. Except
Right.
for me, of course. None about me.
Yeah. There's none about the tank.
Exactly.
Nothing about the
What
turn
are
and
we
swipe.
on? 114 things the tank shouldn't say.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. All right, guys, we need to move on. I hear it. I hear that music. It's time for Lorelei's Pet Battle Minute.
Hey there. With BFA just around the corner, some new pet battle mechanics have surfaced. Some new pets have been spotted with an aura mechanic. And this may change once the expansion comes on, but they're very interesting. And a test dragon pet has an aura of enemy self. And when cast, the enemy's damage is reflected back, dealing currently an unknown percentage of the last damage dealt by the pet for 3 rounds. This test pet also had Aura of Team Heal, and your team heals based on the last damage dealt at the end of the round for 3 rounds. This is definitely helpful for mechanics like Thunderbolt, which hit backline pets as well as your primary pet. A new pet, Little Tika, has the Aura of Gonk mechanic. Once cast, this causes pets to heal every time they deal damage for 4 rounds. Heals are increased by 100% if the pet is below 50% of their health. These new mechanics will certainly have an impact on PvP battles, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they affect current pet combo mechanics. Don't forget to use your pet charms before Tuesday, as they will be changing to the new tokens, and old tokens will not be accepted. So go in, buy all your battle stones and any items that you can, put them in your bank, and you'll be good to go. Shiny pet charms will be replacing our current charms this week, and prices for battle stones will be significantly increased. So get busy and spend those charms.
Aura
Now-
of what?
When you get your pet charms now, and you can go in and buy battle stones for leveling or making them rare, those
I
aren't
thought-
going to be used anymore on Tuesday. Those are
I
going
you
thought
away.
those
You
were
said
still
aura
available
of,
just for
of
older
gunk?
stuff.
But then I'm hearing that they're not. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting stuff in the bank and hoping for the best.
Although I don't know why I worry, because I don't do pet battles.
Well,
Well-
our new World Quest will be giving you shiny pet charms, so it's not like you're going to not be able to get anything. But like a Battlestone now might be 45 if you want to level it to from 1 to 25. It's 45 pet charms now. It's going to be 60 with the shiny pet charms. So that's going to be a lot more going out and doing questing.
Aura of gonk?
Yeah, you don't
Aura
remember
of Gonk.
You don't remember Gonk?
I don't know what Gonk is,
Nope.
but it's a little raptor
I
pet.
don't either.
So that's
Oh,
going
okay.
to be interesting about they're giving these heals, these group things for pets, because that's something new.
Ooh, I wonder if that's going to be a new boss named Gonk.
Ah.
Yeah.
Want to sell my blue axe? It's got a sweet glow. Only 10G. It's not VIP, but OMFG, what's this? Some Russians are spamming the trade channel, bam bam.
Disney's unleashing the inner goblin. End of expansion. End of expansion gold making. To sell everything or to not sell everything. Most people right now are cleaning out their banks, getting ready for BFA when With the changes coming to professions, this could go either way. A lot of people are trying to max out their professions prior to BFA, because if you are level 800 in your professions, you'll have maxed out skills and you will already have all the old world crafting filled out and will only have to level the BFA section of that particular profession. If you don't, you can just level BFA and be happy and work on current content, stuff, and crafts and materials, and go forward and do wonderful things for the economy. But if you want to do old world crafted transmog, you will have to go and level each section, Vanilla, BC, Lich King, Pandaria, and such, individually with area specific materials. And who wants to mine all of that fell iron out in Outland? For those people that are cleaning out their banks to make room, good on you. We could all probably do some spring cleaning. For those of you that aren't, maybe hold on to some of those old mats and sell them at a much higher premium right after the changes. Maybe go and farm adamantium on the Isle of Kildanis and hoard it until BFA. Maybe just say pish posh on all of that and just focus on current content once BFA hits. At this point, it's all up to you. Me, I'm cleaning out my bags and I'm going to focus on the future. We'll see how that works out for me.
And next up, our tank and address.
What's wrong with tanking? What's wrong with tanking? What's wrong with tanking in a dress? What's wrong with tanking? What's wrong with tanking? What's wrong with tanking in a dress?
This week's Come At Me a Tanking Minute, changing your frame of reference. Have you been thinking of switching either your main, maybe your spec, maybe your role? Now would be the perfect time to do so. With the game changing, it's time maybe you change your game up. Now, for me, no thanks. I enjoy tanking. I like the additional level of challenge that comes with an expansion and switching things up and learning in rotation. It's all good. So I'm sticking with tanking. And I'm sticking with my preferred class, and I really just enjoy Pally right now. That might change. I'm not going to guarantee I'd be here all the way through the next expansion, but probably will be. I do know that Dark, for example, is thinking of switching up because he loves the mobility that Demon Hunter provides. So he might make a change. Now is the perfect time to do so. See, everyone's gearing and prepping as soon as the expansion hits. People gear, people prep, they're getting ready to go, but you've got 10 levels where you can really give time to try out a new class. You get to practice your rotation. You get to figure out that whole learning curve of how to get better at playing that particular tune. It's a terrific time to be practicing that knowing that you can then go into a raiding environment having totally practiced and being entirely comfortable with it. Usually the first one you level to takes the most time, and afterwards there's a little bit of speeding up in terms of leveling. So generally speaking, the one you level should be the one that you're thinking of committing to. And hopefully by now you have some sense of that if you were going to make a change. So is there an alt that you really, really love, or a class you've been experimenting with that's a lot of fun? Or even on the same tune, have you wanted to try out a different spec? During an expansion, sometimes it takes a little while to settle in if one is actually doing a little more DPS than another. So now might be a time to play around with it. Maybe you'll be a natural in that different spec. I always find that this leveling time is a perfect time to try to figure out if I can make any classes or spec changes. Great time to do practicing of new rotations, timing, special abilities. Now's the time, if you're going to do it, make the change. And that's Come At Me a Taking Minute.
All right, and with no ant, we have... It's WFN News, Warcraft Stafford News. Auction House Dance Party is Sunday. Better get in there and shake your tail. All you Draenei. Let's see. The weekly event is PvP Battlegrounds. Don't know anything about it. So
Yawn.
There's no event this week?
There's no event this week. Nope. The command center is up next. I found it. It's got heavily augmented and Forces of the Order. And WoW tokens are at 209. They've gone up about $4,000 since last week in the States. So we did kind of touch on this already, but with the Battle for Azeroth, when the pre-patch goes live tomorrow, the option to use master loot will be removed. All raids will use personal loot. Now, what I did find interesting, and I'm not quite sure how this works, but I'm pretty sure I do, on normal and heroic, every additional player above 10 players, which is the minimum you need to do a normal heroic raid, gets an additional 20% chance for a loot drop from the boss for an additional piece of gear. But I don't know if that 20% chance is cumulative, like if you get 15 people, it's automatically another loot drop, or if it's 5 more 20% chances. I would think it's cumulative, but I'm not positive. So maybe one of our readers knows, or our readers. Yeah, if you're reading this, if you're listening to this, maybe one of our fans would let us know if they know for sure which way it actually goes. So, guys, we really pushed the limits on this one. We've got an hour in just almost perfectly. So I'm going to thank you all for coming. I'm going to thank all of our fans for listening. I also want to thank Charm for all of her beautiful music. Please go visit her website and her YouTube channel. The links are in the description below, plus BenSound at bensound.com and Vincent Moretto for our heavy metal tavern music. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll see you all next week.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, audience. We love you.
I kissed an orc and I liked it. The taste of his Bulgur chapstick. I kissed an orc just to try it. I hope my ally friends don't mind it. It felt so wrong, it felt so right. Don't meet up in love tonight.
It's going to take me a minute. I realized I didn't have my window up because I was building it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm not the only screw up tonight. Oh, great. That's going to go in.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, gotta love them bloopers.